Map mavens and plotting prestidigitators, it's Prof. G, and in this lesson, we're going to plot a location on a map using its latitude and longitude coordinates. Let's map out the big learning. And as always, if you're new here, welcome. We're building off work we completed in earlier lessons, so you might want to check out the playlist to see how we got here. So in our earlier lessons, we were building out our full stack cloudfirestore app, and we got a place lookup working to give us the place names and addresses, and crucially, the latitude and longitude. Now we don't really want to display the coordinates on screen, we want to plot those on a map. So let's have at it. All the work that we're going to be doing in this lesson is in the spot detail view, and we'll start by importing the MapKit library so that we have access to all of those maptastic data structures and functions. And we're going to create a value that has a camera position. Now this is going to determine how much of the map we see on screen. It's sort of like a view from a drone flying above the map that shows where the map should be centered and how much of the map should be shown. Now we're going to create this map camera position centered on our existing spot's coordinates. It's latitude and longitude, so it's going to be a computed property built for that coordinate each time we need it. So to add that value, right here we'll say private var map camera position map camera position upper camel case. So we're creating a value called map camera position of type map camera position and open and close curlies. Then inside we prepare that map camera position. To do that, first we'll create a coordinate point with let coordinate is what we'll call it, and that will equal CL location coordinate 2D. Now we get a bunch of different options for creating a coordinate point. We want the one with latitude and longitude, and then set the latitude as spot.latitude and the longitude as spot.longitude. So we're going to position this map camera right at the current spot's coordinates. Then right in the return value, which is a map camera position, we'll return it like this. Return dot lowercase r region in parentheses, and there are a few ways we can set up a map camera position. One way is to use a region. That's what we're sending back here. Now we'll just define this as a center point and the distance around it. But if you didn't use a region, there's also other opportunities where you can add all sorts of stuff with other data structures if you want, including the pitch for a 3D effect to make things look like they're tilted, and a heading to rotate the map so that you're not facing north all the time. But for our work, I think a simple region, a rectangle centered around a point, makes the most sense. So our region wants an MK coordinate region, so we'll enter that, and we have a few options to create that here. One uses a span, which is the degree of latitude and longitude to show. I prefer the option with meters, since most folks don't think in latitude and longitude distances, and also the span isn't consistent at latitudes. It changes, it's tighter around the poles and wider around the equator, so meters are better, I think. So with this option, the region center is the coordinate that we created above for lat and long, and I'll enter 1,000 each for the meter values. That's just 1 kilometer, about 0.6 of a mile. And you can tweak these values however you'd like. And let's head down to the text view where we currently are showing our spot coordinates, and below that let's enter capital M map, open and close parens, open and close curlies, and ding dang Dora the Explorer. It's a map, it's a map, it's a map, my friends, and that was super easy. But of course, it isn't formatted with anything, so let's go beyond the basic map and plot a map marker, labeling it with our spot title. Let's highlight this and retype map with a capital M, and we see a bunch of initializers. I want the one where we create a map with its position and content. We'll ignore all the optional parts in here and press return, and this is just a bit tricky. Now the map wants a binding for the position parameter, and a binding usually allows updates to flow two ways, from your code to the view and from the view back to your code where you called it from. But our map camera position is a computed property. It's calculated based on the spot's coordinates, and it has no stored update, so you can't pass any values back to change the computed property. They're read-only, so we can't use a traditional two-way binding with a $sign in front. So instead, what we do in those cases is we use dot constant with parentheses, and between the parens, we pass in our computed property, map camera position. If this is confusing to remember, just know that if you have a computed property that needs to be used where a binding is required, you can wrap that computed property in dot constant. This creates a sort of one-way street connection where data flows from your computed property to the view, but the view can't send anything back. That's perfect in our case, since what we want is the map locked on the spot's location. So for the binding variable, we'll give it a camera position, but we'll say dot constant passing in our map camera position, then tab over and press return to fill in the content of the map. Next, we'll add a marker on our map to show where our spot is. We're going to choose the option with title key and coordinate, and the title key is spot.name, and the coordinate will be of type CL location coordinate 2D, and we'll choose the initializer option with latitude and longitude, passing in spot.latitude and spot.longitude. And there we go! We got a little standard map pin with the spot title below it, Ultra Groovy. And if we want to change the color of that marker to our snacktacular color scheme, you can say at the bottom here, .tint, passing in our .snack custom color. Nice. Now our map naturally takes up as much space as it can, just as if it were shaped like a rectangle, but let's constrain it by adding a frame. So we'll say .frame with a height, how about 250, and that looks good. We're leaving space for our reviews, which we'll eventually add in a subsequent lesson. And you know what, when I take a look at this, I think I want to change the dimensions of my map. Since my students probably aren't driving, Boston College is not a car campus, and most of the students are exploring the city on foot, I think I want to show a smaller portion of the map that has more local detail. In fact, instead of adding the constant of 1,000 meters up here, I'm going to create a constant above this so it's easy to tweak this value. I'll say private let, call this map dimension, setting it equal to 750.0. It's really important to add the 0.0 in here because the MK coordinate region expects doubles. Then I'll copy this constant name and paste it over my old 1,000 meter entry, and look at that, I'm a bit tighter. And I used a constant here, but I'm sure you can think of ways where you can have some kind of user control or a slider that might allow them to adjust the default map region. Now we can move around our map, looking good. Let's start from the login view and try things out. We'll visit different spots: Pino's, east of campus, Neptune Oyster in the north end, not too far from the ocean, El Pelon, very close to BC, where I am recording right now, and let's build and run to see how this looks in the simulator. Hammer time, no errors, I'm logged in. Farmstead Table in Newton Center, not too far from campus if we drag the map. El Pelon again, tasty tacos, and let's add one. How about a romantic spot? When I'm out with the fabulous Mrs. Gallagher, we often go to a place called My Place by the Sea. It's in the lovely seaside town of Rockport, Massachusetts, about an hour north of Boston. And look, it's right on the water. Little Prof G date night tip for you. After a tasty seaside meal, you can take in a show at the Shaolin Liu Theater right on the water. It's one of the most spectacular theaters you'll ever visit. Now let's add some pics with a couple of seafood entries, looking magnificent. And how about a little bit of shellfish in here, and you can check out some of the other views. And before we finish up, why don't we talk a little bit about how you use the controls in the simulator and the preview. I have found out that the preview controls are sometimes a little bit less reliable, especially in the version of Xcode that I'm using, but if you click and drag, you should be able to move the map around. Shift-click and drag down and up should zoom out and in as well. And Option-click and drag should zoom and rotate. The two circles are supposed to imitate finger touches. And the last technique where we can tilt the camera position to get that cool 3D building effect, hold down the Option key, then click and hold down the Shift key, and if you drag up and down, you should be able to shift that pen orientation and get the 3D look. So I hope you feel like your learning is big, Swifty Mapmeister. Lots more to come. Continue to hack.